Hello everybody, and welcome to a new video. In this video, we are going to be going over 12 more minutes of useless creepy facts. If you haven't watched the first video, I'll leave a link to it in the description or up in the top right corner now. Anyways, this video is going to be presented a little bit differently. If you enjoy the presentation more or less, let me know. I'd like to know what you think about it. Either way though, this intro's gone on for long enough. So I thank you so much for watching, and enjoy. Octopuses have blue blood. This is because of the blue copper named hemocyanin that is in their blood. This helps them stay in low oxygen water for long periods of time. Within fresh water, there exist species of snails that will lay eggs within the fresh water. If a person ingests the water and the eggs with it, it can lead to a disease named schistosomiasis. The disease happens when the body reacts to the eggs of the snails. This disease causes nausea, fever, vomiting, and several other issues. The disease will become fatal if left untreated, and a scary fact is over 270,000 people a year require treatment for the disease. There exist viruses inside of glaciers. These viruses are still alive and have been frozen for thousands to tens of thousands of years. If thawed, they could enter our oceans and eventually make their way to the animals we eat, or even to the drinking water that we have. This could have terrible consequences, as people are not adapted to these new viruses, and it could cause a global pandemic worse than anything we've ever seen. Oleander is one of the most common decorative garden plants. However, it is also one of the most poisonous. The poison is so potent that a few leaves of the plant can kill a fully grown adult, and given the very fast-acting nature of oleander poisoning, if a child or animal gets a hold of this, it can lead to death very quickly, to the point where treatment is almost impossible. With most neurodegenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's or Parkinson's, these diseases can occur up to 20 years before you even show your first symptom. This makes it nearly impossible to detect in any way before you begin to experience symptoms. And once you have symptoms, there is nothing that can be done to prevent these diseases. This means if you develop Alzheimer's at 65 years old, you have actually had the disease since your mid to late 40s. No matter how much protection websites claim to have, every click you make and every website you go to is tracked to cater more tailor-made experiences to each individual person. In a study done, around 1 in 20 children admitted that they had made plans to meet up with a stranger that they met in an online chat website or an online gaming chat. CNN has created a doomsday video. This video was created in the 1980s or 1990s and is set to play in the event of a nuclear holocaust. This video has never been played on live TV, and hopefully never will. According to the FBI, if you were murdered in the United States right now, there is a near 50% chance that the murder wouldn't be solved. This is a steady decrease from the nearly 70% solving rate that had happened in the 1980s, 90s, and 2000s. If you were to take the average amount of people who are estimated to have died in World War II, and you were to take the blood from all of the people, you would be able to fill a little over 147.5 Olympic swimming pools. On average, around every 40 seconds, somebody will end their own life. Ducks actually experience tendencies of cannibalism and will eat other ducks if prompted. Exact reasons aren't known for this, although it is assumed that it is mostly due to boredom. The only way to stop the ducks once they start is to kill them. The story of the jack-o'-lantern popped up in the early 1600s. The story goes that a man named Stingy Jack made a deal with the devil, asking the devil to spare Jack from being taken to hell for 1 more year. He then tricks the devil into turning into a coin and places the devil next to a cross inside of a wallet. Jack then makes another deal, saying that he will let the devil out if the devil never claims his soul. The devil agrees. However, Jack eventually dies, after which the devil says his physical body may have died, but the devil can never take his soul. So, the devil gives Jack an ember from hell and sends him into the night to endlessly roam the earth. Jack puts the ember inside of a hollowed out turnip, and that is the story of how the jack-o'-lantern came to exist. In 29 of the 50 United States, it is legal for a doctor to perform a pelvic exam while a person is under anesthesia without any verbal or written consent. According to a study of kids and kids' brains, kids will actually hear voices of people, and according to their brain and the reception that they have, it is actually happening. This is what an ant's face looks like under a microscope. People have claimed that after looking at a mirror in low light levels, they have claimed to see hallucinations of distorted faces, and even claimed to see shadows and monsters. Of every single species that has ever existed on Earth since life began, it is estimated that 99.9% of all of them are extinct. Polar bears are the only known species of bear to hunt humans. This is because of the lack of food in areas where polar bears live. If an elephant's mate dies, the surviving elephant can die of broken heart syndrome. The face used on the CPR test dummy was modeled after a girl who was pulled out of the Seine River in the 1880s. The mortician was so entranced by her peaceful expression that he decided to model the face of the CPR dummy after the unknown woman. This is what cobra venom does to blood. It is believed that you are still conscious and aware for a few seconds after being decapitated. John French was a 17th century alchemist who mixed the brains of people and animals in an attempt to create immortality elixirs. He died in 1657. In 1980, medicine company Bayer sold a medication that contained blood. This blood was contaminated with HIV, and Bayer knew about it and still sold it anyways. There is a 586-mile-wide area in the middle of Washington named the Hanford Site, where it is completely uninhabitable. This is due to the immense amount of radioactive waste that has been dumped there. Bees will surround invading hornets and begin to flap their wings very quickly. This generates enough heat to kill the hornet by cooking it alive. The leading cause of death in pregnant women is domestic violence. There are as many as 50 serial killers loose in the United States. In Roman times, people believed that drinking blood would allow you to absorb power from the person that you drank the blood from. During the gladiator games at the Colosseum, people from the audience would attempt to drink blood from fallen gladiators to obtain their powers and skills. This is a safety casket. These were used because people would be buried alive so often that they became a necessity. King Charles II would drink alcohol mixed with crushed up human skull fragments. This little guy is called the golden poison frog. This little guy's skin is covered completely in venom called alkaloid toxin. This frog will produce enough venom to kill 10 to 15 people. The venom causes the sodium channels in your nerve cells to permanently open. This will eventually lead to paralysis, heart failure, and death. If doctors move your organs during surgery, they might not function as they're intended to, or at all, for up to a day after. This is because the body assumes that the organs are actually dead. Cotard syndrome is a mental illness in which people believe they are missing limbs, or that they are dying, or that they are dead. As a result, they may stop eating or talking because they believe they're dead, and there is no known cure. Egyptian mummies would actually be a lot more plentiful if the Victorian British didn't eat most of the bodies. They did this as they believed it had medicinal and healing effects. There is no way to know if anyone around you is experiencing consciousness and reality the same way you do. During the Black Death, ships would have to wait out in the harbor for 40 days. This was so that if anyone or anything had the plague on it, the crew would die and they would know to not let them dock. The Italian word for 40 is quaranta, and this is where the word quarantine comes from. In the 1970s, a man jumped off of the Golden Gate Bridge and ended his own life. In his pocket was a note that read, "I'm going to walk to the bridge. If anyone smiles at me on the way, I will not jump." Crocodiles can gallop faster than most humans can run. They can reach speeds of up to 10 miles per hour. If you ever find yourself needing to run away from a crocodile, do not zigzag as some would have you believe, as it only closes the distance between you and the crocodile quicker. Your tongue will actually move around on its own. During dentist visits, your tongue may actually chase the dentist's tools or fingers around without you even being aware of it. For the film The Poltergeist, real dead human bodies were used as it was cheaper to buy them from a medical center than to buy props. Spiders are getting better and better at hiding from people, and they can even play dead. Sudden arrhythmic death syndrome is a condition that occurs where a fully healthy person dies with no apparent cause. People can experience something called locked-in syndrome. This is where somebody is fully conscious yet unable to move, speak, or do anything other than blink. It is described as being conscious while comatose. Going off course in the Paris catacombs could result in you getting lost and dying. This is due to the fact the catacombs are of course very dark and maze-like. As well as this, they are absolutely massive, and if you get lost, there's a good chance a search party might not be able to find you in time. Richard Chase was an American serial killer who killed at least 6 people. The only time he would kill people was when he would enter their house through an unlocked door. He said he viewed it as an invitation to enter their home. Always make sure to lock your doors. Cymothoa exigua is a type of parasite that lives inside water. It hijacks fish by entering through the fish's gills. It will then attach itself to the tongue of the fish and begin consuming the tongue. Eventually, the tongue of the fish falls off, and the parasite replaces the tongue with itself and lives as the fish's tongue for the rest of its lifespan. While serial killer Ted Bundy was getting his psychology major at Washington University, he worked as a suicide prevention hotline operator. Have you ever been at the edge of a building or a cliff and for some reason thought of jumping? Well, this is an actually somewhat common phenomenon, named the Call of the Void. It's not 100% sure what causes this, but it is believed to be a sort of survival instinct that compels us to make better decisions. In 29 of the 50 United States, it is legal for a doctor to perform a pelvic exam while a person is under anesthesia without any verbal or written consent. Alright everybody, I thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. This video took a little bit extra time to make because I've been doing some other things in my daily activities that have just kind of pushed me away from video editing at the moment. I'm still wanting to make more videos, but my upload schedule might be a little bit askew at the moment. Either way though, I'm still going to try to make the same quality content that I do and try to even make it better. Let me know what you thought of this video, and let me know if you have any ideas for other videos or anything else like that. And I believe that is everything. So, thank you once again for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Goodbye.